everyone, thank you for watching. Today I want to talk to you more about vitamin D deficiency, and I'm going to tell you exactly how much vitamin D3 I supplemented with over the past year and a half and all of the symptoms that I had from beginning to end. So if you're interested in learning how to just feel better, get rid of all those shitty side effects of having a vitamin D deficiency, then keep watching. So it's been almost a year and a half since I was diagnosed with a vitamin D deficiency, and before that I spent years and years having the awful side effects of vitamin D deficiency. It included being tired all the time, feeling achiness in my bones, my muscles feeling really tight and having lots of knots in them, always feeling tingling in my muscles and also numbness in my fingers and toes. I had trouble getting my period, so having hormonal imbalance, and I was also diagnosed with Pcos, which I believe was closely related to having my vitamin D deficiency. But what I did initially is I started supplementing with 10,000 units of vitamin D3 each day, which is a total of 70,000 IU per week. I've heard from people whose doctors have told them to take 50,000 IU once a week, and I think that's fine too if you want to take it just one dose each week instead of taking a smaller amount every single day. I just decided to take the 10,000 each day. But if you think about it, when you lay out in the sun, which is how your body naturally makes vitamin D3, you're getting a huge absorption of sun all at once, and your body's working to make that vitamin D3 all at one time probably. So either way I think is fine. And then after 6 months, I spent another 6 months taking a smaller dose, and that was at 35,000 international units of D3 per week. And I actually took 5,000 each day. So again, you can take a large dose once a week or smaller doses each day. And then after an entire year, I cut down my dose again, and I started taking about 20,000 international units per week. So I was taking my D3 from a couple different sources, and that was my regular D3 vitamin supplement, and then also my calcium supplement had D3, and my cod liver oil supplement had some D3. Plus I was getting it from my food. I ate a lot of eggs, which also contain vitamin D3. So that's just basically the breakdown from the past year and a half. I started out with a pretty high dose of vitamin D3, and every 6 months I would kind of decrease that amount. So also I was trying to get as much sun as possible, so I would definitely recommend laying out in the sun if it works for wherever you live. If you can, if it's possible, try and lay out in the sun for about 10 to 20 minutes at least once a week. I know with our busy schedules or just the environment that we live in, it's not always possible, but I do feel that I've always felt my best when I'm getting both enough D3 from my supplement and then also enhancing the benefits of getting vitamin D from the sun. One of the most noticeable and bothersome for me side effects of having a vitamin D deficiency was always having redness in my skin, and it was pretty evident over my entire body, just having like a pink tint to my skin, and I really think it's because of having inflammation in the body. But also in my face, it always looked like everything was red. On my cheeks, forehead, like I was wearing a full mask of red. And after supplementing with vitamin D, that went away pretty quickly, I would say, within the first 6 months to a year. And I also always had numbness and tingling in my fingers and in my toes, and that's gone completely now. It went away probably one of the first things to go away, actually, in the first 6 months. And also, one of the things that I really struggled with the most was having fatigue. And you just feel so tired, and it sucks because especially when you have to work, go to school, do things, you have interest, you want to go outside and do things with your life, it's hard because you just feel like your body's always going against you. And now I definitely don't feel that way anymore. I mean, there's times where I feel tired, but not the sort of fatigue where you just can't even do anything if you want to. So that went away probably within the first 6 months to a year also. And that kind of fatigue goes along with weakness somewhat, but weakness in that you just tire really quickly And I've always been a very active person, like going to the gym, doing yoga, lifting weights, doing cardio, and just you can just feel your body, something's not right. Like you tire easily, your muscles are just not as strong as they should be. And that's pretty much gone as well. I feel like stronger than I ever have. I've also been lifting a lot of weights, which I think has just helped me to overcome the weakness that I've had in my entire body. So there is hope for that. You can get rid of the weakness and just, achy, crappy feeling that you have in your body. It just takes probably 6 months to a year also. And bone pain was another one, which I had it mostly, I noticed like stress would worsen the pain that I had, but my entire back, like in my bones, which I've talked about before, just felt super excruciatingly painful. And then just having like achiness in my legs and my sternum, I've talked about before, used to hurt really bad when you would put just the tiniest amount of pressure on it, and that's gone completely. And then also a big one for me is I was diagnosed with Pcos, and I had amenorrhea for a few years. And since supplementing with vitamin D, cod liver oil, getting more sun, I have been able to have a lot more regular of a menstrual cycle. It's not perfect. I don't get it exactly, the same length cycle every month, but definitely better than it's ever been in like 7 years. So it's just incredible to me that taking vitamin D can help so much with that. Also, if you are having fertility issues, one of the biggest things that I would recommend is going to see an acupuncturist. In the very beginning, I started seeing an acupuncturist probably twice a month, and it helped tremendously with just the side effects of recovering from a vitamin D deficiency are also not the easiest because your body's adjusting, getting rid of toxins, and your body's going through a lot during the recovery process. So although you're starting to feel better, you're also experiencing new things as well that cause you to not necessarily feel like yourself either. So acupuncture helped with that. It just definitely helps with pain, with fertility, getting your period, and also just feeling more like grounded and like yourself, and also brain fog. So brain fog is one of those things where it's really just hard to explain, and I've heard from many people that they have brain fog as well. And for me, it was just like you just feel fuzzy, and like it feels like it takes a lot more effort than it should just to accomplish normal thoughts and normal day-to-day tasks. Like I was a student for a large part of the time that I had a vitamin D deficiency, and I did really well in school. So I wouldn't say that it affects my intelligence at all, but it just makes it more of a challenge to complete thoughts. It's not really like affects your smartness really. It just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. If you've had brain fog, you know what I'm talking about. But I feel like it took probably at least a year to completely get rid of my brain fog. But again, all of my symptoms slowly got better from the very beginning. Like the first week that I started taking vitamin D, I immediately started to feel better in every single way that I was struggling with before. So mood and irritability is also another one. I definitely feel like a better, happier person. I used to just very easily feel irritable, annoyed, angry, sometimes even depressed. And now, yeah, we all have our moments where we're just not in the best mood, but before it was just like an everyday struggle. And I would say after probably a year, it took to kind of balance my mood, and I think that also goes along with hormones, having balanced hormones and moods. So give it about a year for that. Also, weight loss was a big one for me. I was struggling for a long time with losing weight, and especially in my midsection. So now I found that if I diet, the scale goes down immediately, whereas before I felt like nothing that I did would make a dent. Like literally I couldn't even lose a pound. So now I've been able to lose like 10 pounds without even trying, and especially in my midsection, which is something that I always struggled with, feeling like I had excess visceral fat. And now, I mean, I still have a tummy, but that's probably just because I eat too much like carby foods. But if I really tried and wanted to, I could eliminate a lot more fat than I already have without even trying. So that's definitely a big one, for me at least. And many women who have PCOS tend to be overweight, and that was me. I wasn't overweight, but I still struggled with my weight and wasn't as thin as I would have liked to be. And honestly, I'm not even trying to be like super thin. I just want to feel healthy and comfortable in my body. Along with trouble losing weight came like feeling like I was bloated all the time, and I personally think that it's because vitamin D does help with removing toxins from your body. So when you start taking a vitamin D supplement, your body somehow is more able to eliminate toxins. And in addition to that, because your body is for the first time in a while getting back to eliminating toxins properly, there's also going to be excess toxins that need to be removed that over the years have built up because your body hasn't been able to get rid of them. So that's another side effect of recovering from a vitamin D deficiency is, yes, you're gonna over time get better at removing toxins and having like a cleaner, healthier system, but your body's also kind of doing like the work that it wasn't able to do before. I think it's important to also drink lemon water, which can help with eliminating toxins as well. So just kind of combat the side effect of excess toxins being released into your body before you can get them out of your body. Another thing is having sugar craving. Starting in high school, I had a terrible sugar craving, and it always came like right after I would eat. So I would eat a meal and then instantly need some sugar and crave like something sweet, and I could eat like an entire half a carton of ice cream, and that was just not really normal. So I think that my insulin levels were probably skewed, even though my doctors always said that my levels were normal. But now I eat a lot more than I used to. I used to try and eat anywhere between like 1,200 and 1,500 calories, even though you always want to eat less, but that never really happens. And now I eat closer to 2,000, sometimes even 23 or 2,500 calories every single day. And it's amazing because I thought that eating like double the amount of calories, I would gain all this weight, but actually I've been losing weight. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but it just shows that your body needs calories to function properly. And as soon as you start constricting your body, it's going to do the exact opposite of what you want it to, and it's going to slow down your metabolism, start storing more fat because it's afraid that you're not going to give it enough food at the next meal. Since eating more and getting further along in my recovery, I have had no sugar cravings at all. I barely eat sugar, and I used to be the kind of person who was like, I need sugar all the time. Like, you know how there's salty people and there's sweet people? I'm definitely a sweet person. Like, I need my candy and like ice cream and brownies, not a bag of chips. Like, you would never find me eating a bag of chips unless I'm at a party and there just happens to be a bowl of chips because I like to eat food. But besides that, sugar cravings, pretty much gone. Another thing that I always thought was because of my vitamin D deficiency was that I have dry eyes. And I do feel that my eyes have gotten a lot better. I think it's partially because I've been eating a lot, because I have incorporated a lot more fat into my diet. So I eat coconut oil or olive oil every single day. I eat avocados as often as I can. So all these oils, I think, they just help fight inflammation in your body and just keep everything running smoothly. So my eyes have gotten better, I think, partially because of that. And then also, I think that they just get worse depending on the season. So my allergies get irritated because of the time of year. So what I started doing is I go to sleep So what I started doing to help with my dry eyes is before I go to sleep, I take Zyrtec or whatever allergy medication that you have. They can make you kind of drowsy, which is why I take it before bed. And then also, I started putting Vaseline around my eyes and on my nose. And this helps prevent allergens, irritants, anything in the air that gets on your skin while you're sleeping. It prevents it from actually getting into your skin, touching your hair follicles, and irritating your skin more. So now when I wake up, my eyes still feel a little like irritated, but definitely not as bad as they used to. So if you do have dry eyes, it might be allergies. And actually, I had a skin test to see if I have allergies, and if so, to what allergens. But my skin test came back negative. So they put all these marks on your skin, and they put different irritants to see what your skin reacts to, and my skin reacted to none. So my point is, just because you have an allergy skin test that comes back negative doesn't mean that you actually don't have allergies, because my eyes and my nose are itchy and irritated more at certain, like right now, allergy season is pretty rough here in San Diego. So it's just like your skin here might not be irritated, but whatever is in your eyes, nose, and like even your throat can definitely be affected by allergies still. And finally, the last side effect or symptom of vitamin D deficiency that I want to talk about is having muscle aches and tingling. So that took probably a year to go away, but after about 6 months, it's like, just everything slowly gets better over time. Another thing that I started doing though is I eat a lot more seaweed in my diet, and that is because it has tons of vitamins and minerals, including iodine. And there's a lot of research on iodine out there just showing how it can basically help our cells in many, many ways. I get a lot of tingling in my shoulders, which I think is pretty common because a lot of us hold stress in our upper back and shoulders and our neck. So I know this was a long video. I hope it was helpful. I tried to include basically all of the symptoms that I've had over the past many, many years, and just how I recovered from them over the past year and a half using a vitamin D supplement. So I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to email me or comment below. If you have any questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like my video, and thank you so much for watching.